Hey guys, this is Chad Allen, and I was recently having lunch with my friend Bob Evenhouse, and Bob asked me, how did you get started blogging, was his question. And without really meaning to, I started telling him about all the books that had informed my journey, not only my blogging journey, but my journey of trying to help people find their voice and do their art, whether that's authors I'm working with, or clients that I'm coaching, or students that I'm teaching in Book Proposal Academy, or blog posts that I'm writing. I found myself telling him about the books that really have taken me along the way, or at least many of them. So I've printed off covers, and I wanted to take you through this journey. And I've tried to put these in the order in which I read these books. So I can't promise this is exactly the order I read them in, but it's pretty close. And the first one is The Accidental Creative by Todd Henry. This was recommended to me by my friend and colleague Twyla. And this book was the first one, it was the first time that I'd ever entertained the idea that you could live a lifestyle that was conducive to creativity. There were disciplines, practices, rhythms you could engage that could help you be your best creatively. That idea kind of lit me up. I mean, I was already interested in creativity, and the idea that I could live life in such a way as to maximize my own creative output, if you will, was momentous for me. It was pivotal. So that's the first one. And then this book, The Art of Nonconformity by Chris Guillebeau. This again was recommended by another friend and colleague, Trinity, and we went through this book together actually. And this book, The Art of Nonconformity, Set Your Own Rules, Live the Life You Want, and Change the World by Chris Guillebeau. This was the first book I'd ever read that said, you don't have to live according to the cultural script that we're handed, which is basically go to high school, go to college, get a job, and live and work in that job for a while and then retire. Like that's the predominant script that our culture tells us today. And Chris Guillebeau was saying things like, well, no, you don't have to do that. Actually, you can do a fair bit of traveling. You can start a side business and develop a supplemental income. And there are just other ways that you can do life that kind of deviate from the standard script. And that really awakened me to the idea that maybe I would have something of value to offer, the general public. So and then I read The 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss, as a massive New York Times best-selling book. And this book taught me a lot about productivity. And there's just some great stuff in here about how you can get kind of the maintenance part of your job down to a very small part of your life so that you have room to kind of dream and do other things. And there's some great stuff about using a virtual assistant in this book that has been very helpful to me. It just awakened my imagination to the idea that you can there are certain tools and hacks you can use to get your work down to a really reasonable size so that you have room for other kinds of activity, including more time for innovation in your job and more time for thinking strategically in your job, and so on. So The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss. I can promise you I work more than 4 hours a week, but there are so many principles in here that were applicable and that frankly made me more productive and made my work more fun. And then Andy Traub recommended this next book called The Millionaire Messenger. I'm wondering if these are showing up backwards for you. But anyway, The Millionaire Messenger by Brendan Burchard. And Brendan Burchard is kind of a guru. He wrote the Motivation Manifesto. He is a coach. He teaches about elite performance, and he's coached some of the the most successful executives in the world. And the thing that he said in this book that sparked my imagination was that you have expertise. As long as you've been doing your thing for a while, you have expertise that people will gladly pay you for if only you let them. And again, I just thought, that's a really interesting idea. I wonder what could come of that. So the Millionaire Messenger. And then John Acuff. I'd known John Acuff for a while through his blog Stuff Christians Like. And one of his first books, not his first book, but one of his first books was called Quitter. And I don't have a great interest in quitting my day job, but I have been fascinated by John and his career. And I was just interested in him as a guy and as a thinker. And so I read Quitter. And the thing he writes about in Quitter is getting up early to do your art. Before your day job starts. And I was like, oh, that's how he did that, so that was really when I started to think about blogging early in the morning, and that would make it sustainable. Another book that was just a real kick in the pants back then is called The War of Art: Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Inner Creative Battles by Stephen Pressfield. And this is a short book. It's a great kick in the pants. It was a big inspiration for my own little book, Do Your Art, and just a really inspiring, motivational read. I think it's one that is a classic, and every creative ought to read it. And then a book that really helped me with the practical part of blogging was Michael Hyatt's platform, Get Noticed in a Noisy World. He talks all about the practical parts of blogging and sharing on social media. This has been out a few years. I'm sure Michael Hyatt would recognize that there are probably parts of it that are outdated, but still, if you're thinking about building a platform, this is the place to start, in my opinion. And I tell many of the authors I work with that very same thing. So that was very helpful with the practical part of things. And then this book, Essentialism by Greg McKeown, it was recommended by Michael Hyatt, but a bunch of other people too. And this book has a whole chapter on how to say no, which I found really, really helpful. And as you read this book, you get the sense that this is really the author's life's work. He just really has put a lot into this. And the subtitle is The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. And I remember, I think I'm getting this idea from Greg McKeown. I think he has this quote about how successful people say no to almost everything. And that really stuck with me. So again, another productivity book, a book that helped me get clear on my focus going forward. Speaking of going forward, this next book has not yet released. It's actually a Baker book that releases in March, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a book by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy called Living Forward. And the subtitle is A Proven Plan to Stop Drifting and Get the Life You Want. I was the editor on this book, had the privilege of developing it, helping Hyatt and Harkavy make it the best book it could possibly be. Seth Godin says, a step-by-step approach to one of life's greatest challenges. And it's all about life planning. This is kind of Hyatt's and Harkavy's their major opus or magnum opus, I should say, on life planning. And I read this book, I edited it, and I was inspired to go and do it. So I went and took a day and a half, and I went and created my life plan, and it was amazing. It continues to be amazing in my immediate family, in my extended family, in my work, in my blogging, and on and on. And so I've actually started to talk with others around me, my colleagues, about starting a life plan. In fact, my assistant has created a life plan and has already seen great things come as a result of that. So look for this book in March. Like I said, it's not available yet. It had a dramatic impact on my life. I think it's going to have a dramatic impact on a lot of people's lives. And then I'll just point to a couple of other things that have had a big impact on me. Jeff Goins recommended a course called Trailblazer that Jonathan Mead created, and that book was really helpful in determining what specific direction I wanted to go with my blog, Trailblazer. I don't know if he's still offering that course or not, but that was a terrific help when I needed it. I am a member, I'm currently a member, and was a early adopter in Platform University with Michael Hyatt. That has been a huge help to me. And then just recently, Todd Henry did a course on Udemy. UDEMY is the platform, and it's called, I think it's called Everyday Brilliance by Todd Henry. And I'm about 30% through it, and already it's been a terrific course for me. I could go on and on. Certainly Jonathan Milligan's work, Blogging Your Passion, being part of a mastermind group with him, which grew out of Platform University, has been a huge help. But these are some of the main resources that have led me on the journey I've been on now for 5-6 years. And I hope they're helpful to you. I have an idea. I want to give away 3 of these books. So the idea is I'm going to do a giveaway, and you can pick the 3 books of these. I think there's 9 here. You can pick whatever 3 you want, and if you win, I will send those books to you in whatever form you want them. This is only for domestic United States folks. I can't afford to send it internationally. But I'd love to send 3 of these books to somebody who wins the giveaway. Would just love to share that with somebody. And I hope this video has been helpful to you. Thanks for watching.